What's on tap? All right. We want to talk about the top 5 teams in the NFL and the bottom 5 teams in the NFL, according to yours truly, George. So let's talk about first the bottom 5. This is in no particular order. The Tennessee Titans. They're awful. Firing Mike Vrabel just seems like the most insane move ever. This team has no talent. Calvin Ridley is now disappeared. Will Levis is one of the worst quarterbacks starting in the NFL, and the team has no juice. The Raiders. Players quit, and like with Antonio Pierce as their coach, you would not expect players to quit. They're not a good team. We're going to look back at that win against the Jacksonville Jaguars later in the season and be like, how the heck did they beat the Jacksonville Jaguars? It makes no sense. All right, the Patriots. And this is no particular order. These are just the 5 worst teams. The New England Patriots. I don't know how they beat the Bengals. Their offense is horrible. It's time to put in Drake May. Just throw him in there. I know he's trying to learn under Brissett, but just throw him in there. Find out what you got. The Patriots are just no good. The Panthers, I know they won. Andy Dalton looked pretty good. They're not a good football team. That Raiders-Panthers matchup. Ugh. And last but not least, the Jaguars. Team I picked to go far this year. A team that I loved. A team that I believed in Trevor Lawrence. There's nothing to believe here other than they are just a bad football team. And if they lose badly next week to the Texans and go 0-4, Doug Peterson, maybe it was just a fluke year in Philly. And it's time to move on. All right, top 5 teams. No particular order. Remember that. Bills. We saw what they did on Monday Night Football. They've evolved into a high-powered, low-turnover, good defense. Josh Allen's probably going to win MVP team. The Chiefs, 3-0. I mean, what can you actually say about the Chiefs? They're 3-0. It's plain and simple. I know they haven't won in the most necessarily amazing fashion in every single game, but they're 3-0, and good teams put themselves in positions to win. The Vikings, the Minnesota Vikings are good. Sam Darnold's good. They're well coached. Their defense is good. They're buttoned up. Everything about this team, they have great receivers. Jordan Addison's not even playing, and they're doing this. They seem they have good vibes, and that NFC North is tough because the Packers are good, the Vikings are good, and the Lions are good. Speaking of the Lions, I have the Lions up there, and I know that might be controversial after their loss to Tampa, but that was just a weird game, and I think the Lions are still a top 5 team. They have everything you need. They have great running backs. They have good weapons. They have a good defense. They have a culture. Everything about them is culture, and I think that's a big thing for the Lions. And the Seattle Seahawks, my Seattle Seahawks, 3-0. The defense is absurd. Geno Smith looks pretty damn good. And overall, I just think the Seahawks are a really good team. They play the Lions this week. We'll see how for real they are. Monday Night Football. And that's a perfect Monday Night Football game. The 2-1 Lions can be wearing all black jerseys versus my Seattle Seahawks, who are going to try to go to 4-0 under Mike Macdonald. And I think it's just going to be a really good game. Sorry, Steelers, you didn't make it. I know you're undefeated, but I just don't know if I can trust Justin Fields yet. But you wouldn't go 4-0. You'll be in there next week. Don't you worry. So those are my top 5 and bottom 5 teams. Titans, Jags, Raiders, Patriots, Panthers, no particular order. 5 worst teams in the NFL. Top 5 teams, the Chiefs, the Bills, the Vikings, the Lions, and Seahawks. Once again, in no particular order. That's my top 5. That's my bottom 5 NFL teams. Let me know if you disagree with them in the comments.